So compassion without strategy dies in few years, and strategy without compassion is just empty. We are all connected through a silent bridge, but through our everyday choices, even the ones that are made out of love, we are slowly breaking this bridge. I learned this hard way, not in the moment of clarity, but in the moment of crisis. I was sitting at my desk late at night in my apartment in London, staring at my laptop screen and thinking, what am I doing with my life? So let me take you back there. I was working as an AI and data manager with Deloitte in London. I had international client engagements. I had traveled to more than 20 countries, fast-track promotions, and everything that I was doing was making corporates more efficient. I had a life that people spent decades chasing, and the things that I was doing was making the companies more profitable, but somewhere I was feeling that I'm not doing enough for this world. I had that emptiness within myself. So I was looking for an intersection where I could make a change to this world. That's when one day my wife said, let's have a dog. Being raised in a vegetarian household in a Jain family where ahimsa paramo dharma is not just saying but the virtue of life, I realized that we need to think and see what are we going to feed our future dog. And I felt conflicted. I didn't want to force my beliefs on an animal, but at the same time, I didn't want to let go of all the learnings that I've had in my life, that all lives matter. That's when I came across Bramble, a border collie who lived in the UK for 25 years on a complete plant-based vegan diet. And that too when the average age for dogs is only 12 to 14 years. Intrigued by this, I started to dig deeper into this, and what I found changed the trajectory of my life. Dogs are not carnivores. Dogs are omnivores. That means they can easily thrive on well-formulated plant-based diet. What they need is not meat. What they need is nutrition, fats, proteins, carbohydrates, omega-3 fatty acids, and you can get all of this from vegan or plant-based sources. Recently, Netflix released a documentary asking a very important question. Can dogs live on plant-based diet? And the answer is yes. There was another study conducted in University of Winchester with more than 2,500 dogs who were fed plant-based diet for 1 year. And the results were remarkable. What they observed was 36% fewer chances of skin diseases. The dogs were more happier, healthier, they had improved vitamin D levels, and most important, they had shown the signs of longevity as compared to dogs who were on meat-based diets. So I was surprised looking at all this, and at the same time, I also started to look into the impact of meat-based food on our environment. So as you can see that the amount of resources or the CO2 emissions that goes into raising beef, lamb, chicken is much higher when it is compared to vegetables or plants. You would be shocked to know that pets consume more than 20% of world's meat and fish supply. If it were a country, it would rank among top 60 in terms of global carbon emissions. Let me put this into a perspective for you. Consider one dog eating meat-based diet for 1 year. That is equivalent to driving a car for 10,000 kilometers, which is same as driving it from Delhi to Kanyakumari and back twice. India has 3 crore pet dogs. So that is equivalent to 300 million tons of CO2 emissions, and the global impact is unimaginable. The land which is used for animal farming, 80% of that land goes into pet food. So looking at all this, I sat there thinking, is compassion scalable? There has to be a better way. So that's when I started looking into the companies across the globe, and the companies in pet food nutrition were thriving in US, UK and other parts of Europe. But in India, there was not even a single company providing plant-based nutrition to our pets. So intrigued by this, we started talking to veterinarians, and I was shocked to know that veterinarians told me they do suggest people to include plant-based, vegan or vegetarian diets into their pet food, but there has been a huge propaganda which is created by meat-based companies out there that people are not ready to do it. So we decided to do it differently, because this wasn't just an opportunity, this was a responsibility. But let me tell you, every responsibility comes with a fear. Like I said, I was working with Deloitte in London. I had 1 crore plus of salary package, which was meant to increase every year. I had international travel, and I was about to give up this dream life for what? Dog food. And not just any dog food, but plant-based dog food. That too in a world where convincing humans to eat less meat is impossible. And I was going to do that for pets. I knew if I would take this path, I will have to understand everything about animal nutrition. I will have to understand dog psychology, convince manufacturers, build supply chains, and that too while making the company profitable. Because if it is not profitable, it would die in few years. And most important, I had to change mindsets in a country that resists change. And this was the time when my wife stood by me. She believed in the vision when it was just an idea on the paper. She decided to keep her job, not out of fear, but out of wisdom, because one of us had to hold the fort while other was ready to jump off the cliff. And when we discussed this with our families, they were aligned too. So guess what? We both moved back to India to revolutionize the pet food industry. She became my silent co-founder, and I became a student again. I learned about pet food. I learned that pets don't taste their food first, but they smell it. The palatability is not about just flavor, it's about aroma, it's about texture, it's about familiarity. And when I talked to manufacturers out there, I learned that the pet food industry was rotten. The companies that were selling the shiniest of packages with happy dogs on the labels were selling lowest quality meat which was left in the slaughterhouses and was not fit for human consumption. The companies were claiming that the food can be used for a longer duration because that was filled with fillers and artificial preservatives. We decided to do it differently. We connected with veterinarians and nutritionists across the country and created products which were aligned with international AFCO guidelines, but only utilizing plant-based ingredients. We used blueberries for antioxidants. We used flax seeds for omega-3 fatty acids. We replaced paneer with tofu because milk is one of the common allergens for pets. We used quinoa instead of rice because we wanted to achieve complete amino acid profile. So we didn't just create vegan dog food, we created better dog food. Better for dogs, better for other animals, and better for our planet. We named our company Furmate because we wanted to be true mates of our furry friends. Today, Furmate is recognized by PETA for providing cruelty-free animal nutrition to pets. We have been backed by esteemed Atal Incubation Center in Mumbai under the social innovation ecosystem. And I'm proud to say that we have been currently associated with Humane World for Animals as a part of cohort of companies who are making this world a more compassionate place for everyone. So in the end, I would just like to leave you all with a thought that compassion is not weakness. When compassion meets strategy, it leads to innovation. So you don't have to leave your job or start a new company to make a change. You just have to start with one thought, that what choices am I making today are going to ripple into the future and going to impact the health of our planet, other animals, and other living beings. And friends, this journey can go a long way. And if you remember the silent bridge that we started with, so every act which is taken with kindness, every bowl filled with empathy, and every decision that refuses to exploit one animal for the sake of other rebuilds this tiny bridge step by step and makes it more strong. Because remember, when compassion meets strategy, even a dog's dinner bowl can heal this world. Thank you.